So sorry. So for me to keep recording, it has to be moved and stuff like that. So I'm just saying what happened this night. I've been with this family since I was before I was 5. I spent my 5th birthday for sure with them. Anything that I would have done, it was normal. This was my family. This was my adopted family. This was not unnormal for me to go anywhere with them or anything like that. So I had moved out of their house, which was my cousin's house, well, adopted cousin at that time. But I grew up in this house. I grew up there, 5820 Hillcrest. I grew up there. But they had moved in, and I ended up staying with them for some months until I got pregnant. And then I started working, and stuff happened. It wasn't that big of a deal, but it just was a disagreement. Like, I didn't agree with something that happened there. So I got my stuff and I left. I went back and moved back in with my adopted grandmother, which was on 39th and McDonald. Um, at this time I was about 5 months pregnant. Not all the way 5 months pregnant, because my date for me to see what the baby was coming up. I was living at my adopted grandmother's house when my date came up to go see what the baby was. Um, so that's how I know I was 5 months pregnant. Shortly after that, me and my grandmother got into it. She was having her own situation going on, and I was pregnant. And I don't remember exactly what it was she was fussing about, but it was something so stupid that I just couldn't take it. Like, I couldn't believe that it was even happening. So I called. I called him and was like, "Can you come pick me up? And can I come over for a little while?" I wasn't moving back in, but it was my cousin. So I was going, whatever we had problems with, I thought we had hashed out, you know. So I called him to come pick me up. He was like, "I'm not going back there right now." He didn't never tell me why at that moment. He just said he's not going back there right now. He was like, "But I got a room. I was trying to call your baby daddy to see if he wanted to come." He was like, "Maybe y'all can just, cause I don't want to waste the room. Maybe y'all can just go and chill out at the room. When the last time y'all seen each other and shit?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." I was like, "Oh, come get me." So I called the father of my kids before he came and got me, my daughter, before he came and got me, and we called while we were in the car. I'm like, "Okay, we're in the car. We're on our way to come get you." That's when we were at 39th McDonald. We were in Richmond. So we were on our way to come get him. And when we got there, when we pulled up on that street, um, he was arguing in the middle of the street. He was like, "There you go, right there." I was like, "What the fuck?" So he's arguing in the middle of the street with his other baby mama. They're arguing. I guess she heard my voice, or they're back together, or anything like that. I was like, okay, whatever. We were not together at that time, but I don't know. So they were in the middle of the street arguing. We sat there for a minute. I called a couple of times. He looked at his phone. He looked at his phone. He ignored it, but it wasn't a instant ignore. He kind of just was looking at the phone. So he, like I said, we're sitting here watching them, but they never knew that we were sitting there. They were in argument, and when he did look away, he looked down at the phone and looked back at arguing. They were arguing. So we didn't scream out the window. We didn't beat the horn. We didn't do nothing. That we cut and went to the burger place or whatever. He was like, and if he answers the phone, he'll go back and pick him up. Went to the burger joint. We sat there. I called him a couple more times. He still didn't answer. I fell asleep in the car. So when we pulled up to the motel, because we didn't have to do anything but go in, we just got out and went in. I just remember it being at the top floor, because I remember when I ran down the stairs to find the bus stop. Um, and that's when everything happened. So I'm just about to break everything down again. This is where I did not come in at. This is where I did not come in at. Sorry. So if you see this, as anybody in Berkeley knows, if you come off of King Street to Julia, you have the right of way. There is no stop sign. Like I said, there is no stop sign. So we were not sitting here. This outwards, so this is by the blue car. So once we passed the blue car, which would be that would have been the closest way to come, because it would have been right next door to the apartment. As you can see, going out onto King Street, there is a stop sign, but not coming in. So, um, there's no stop sign. The blue car is right a little bit before the apartments. These are the apartments. They changed them a lot of bit. These apartments downstairs used to have some stairs that go up. I believe these are the apartments. I don't know what's going on over here. They didn't change so much shit, but I'm gonna go get. No, this is the apartment for sure. But I'm gonna go get real footage pictures. These pictures I've gotten off of the internet and stuff, trying to, put them in place of where I need to put up to date pictures. So this is what I got, and that's the apartment building. So that is where we did not come from. Where we did come from would be right here. So we came off of Ashby, turned onto the street where B Town Dollar is. I forget what the fucking street is. I want to say it's MacArthur, but we turned onto this street right on the end, at the end, came down the street. So this is us at this stop sign. Under us, there's a stop sign. This is them in the middle of the street. Now, me saying anything about what happened is genuinely that. I am saying what happened on this night. They have the people in the middle of the street, which I do know who they are, they have nothing to do with what happened to me. They just happen to be in the middle of the street and part of what was going on, tit for tat that night. They didn't have anything to do with what happened to me. So when I'm explaining it, I'm just explaining everything that happened. That's all. They don't have anything to do with what actually happened to me. They didn't know what happened to me or anything like that. At this time, like I said before, he said something to me about some weird ass shit, and so at this time, when everything was happening that night, they didn't know what was happening or what had happened. Um, I did call and ask for somebody to come get me. I used my cousin's phone that night, which had my baby's father's number in it and the baby mother, his other baby mother's number, and I called both numbers. But since they were arguing, I'm pretty sure that they never checked the messages or anything like that. But this is where we went to go eat, and then the room. The bathroom is over here to your left, and that's the bed, and that's where I ran to the bathroom. I slept in the bathtub. I never came back out until the morning. I stayed in there all night. I didn't come back out until the morning when I ran past him as he was asleep on the bed and out the door and down the stairs. So